Hi, and welcome to Getting Started with Fleet Indexing. My name is Dave Malone, and I am an IoT Solutions Architect with AWS. In this tutorial, we will cover fleet indexing, a feature of IoT device management which makes it easy to query a group of devices and aggregate statistics on device records based on any combination of device attribute, state, and connectivity so that you can better organize and understand your fleet. To follow along, you will need an AWS account, and it's best that you have devices connected and registered in the device registry with relevant attributes. We'll start by logging into your AWS console. Once logged in, search for IoT Device Management. Which will drop me right into the Things tab, where we can start with fleet indexing. When you get started, you'll have to enable fleet indexing. Fleet indexing does incur a cost. Be sure to check out the device management pricing page for more information. When we enable fleet indexing, it will automatically pull in and index your attribute fields from the device registry. If you're using fields where values change frequently, like what we're going to show in this example, we recommend using device shadows and shadow attributes. So you'll want to check the box to add device shadows to fleet indexing. After enabling fleet indexing, it will take a few minutes to first build the fleet index. Once the index is finished building, we can run a quick test query using star and pressing search. Well, you can easily view all 10 of the devices that are currently in my device registry in these search results. Keep in mind, most production fleets are much larger, which is where the real value of fleet indexing and the aggregate search queries comes into play, whether that's hundreds, thousands, or even millions of devices. We'll start by using an aggregate search query. You have your search box, and you also have an aggregation type, which has three options: statistics, cardinality, and percentile. Statistics include things like count, average, min, and max. Cardinality is the approximate count of unique values that match the query, and percentile shows the aggregate values that match the query in percentile groups of 1, 5, 25, 50, 75, 95, and 99. In order to add your device shadow attributes to the available aggregation field list, you'll need to add that field using the settings in your AWS IoT console. Under the fleet indexing settings, you'll see that there is a field to set custom fields. We are going to add in the shadow.reported.temperature attribute. And this field type is a number field. Go ahead and click Update Search Settings. Once added, we'll be able to go back into the Manage portion and the Things portion of the AWS IoT console, go under Fleet Indexing, and you'll see that the index is currently rebuilding to add the new custom attribute using our device's shadow fields. Once the index is finished rebuilding, then if you wanted to see a distribution of, let's say, temperature across your devices, then we can perform a query, search query for all of our devices using the aggregation type of statistics, and then using the aggregation field that we entered before using our shadows state for the reported values of temperature across our devices and run the query. When we run this query, we can see the count total of 9 devices with the average temperature of those devices, the maximum, minimum, as well as things like standard deviation and variance. This helps us understand outliers and data averages across our fleet of devices. Going back to the query fields to dig in a little more, we can switch the aggregation type field to see percentiles. Again, it may be easy to see these results when you have 9 to 10 devices as demonstrated here, but when you have hundreds of thousands or millions of devices, seeing the percentiles and the count that are outliers makes it easier to get critical insights to manage your fleets. Similar to the steps that we did before, we could also add an attribute to be used in fleet indexing to allow us to look up the device registry attributes, such as a custom attribute for location, to be a searchable attribute. In this case, we're going to add a field name attributes.location from the device registry, and the field type in this case is a string. Again, it will take a few moments for our fleet indexing to update to allow that to be searchable. After the fleet indexing has completed rebuilding, we can go ahead and create a search using our location field from our device attributes. In this case, we can search for all devices that have an attribute of location in Florida, and we can also run aggregate queries to find out the number of devices that we have with this attribute as well. Now, if we wanted to be able to take the next step and to be able to identify devices that meet certain criteria like this, we could use thing groups to create and organize dynamic thing groups. This enabled us to dynamically act on every device that matches a certain criteria. Learn how to do that in our How to Use Thing Groups video. To summarize, fleet indexing and search maintains an index of your devices, shadows, their state, and allows you to find devices or create groups based on any combination of device attribute and state in near real time. This allows you to dynamically act on the device state or attributes and more easily manage your fleet.